Welcome to the Black Educated Tea podcast where we have conversations on how Black women navigate through life and education. I'm your host, Makeda Marine. I'm a life coach and strategic consultant. In this safe space and in this podcast, we have conversations on how we balance and navigate through life, education, corporate America, entrepreneurship, motherhood, love, just so many topics. It's just endless. Please join us for the Black Educated Tea podcast so you can be a part of these magnificent conversations.
Welcome to the Black Educated Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Makeda Marie, and today's topic is exit plan. But, as always, before we get into the tea, let's get into this tea. So I'm actually drinking a roasty dandelion root tea. And it's, it's bitter. It's a bitter tea. But one thing I love about this tea is that when I do drink it, I always add my vanilla collagen to it, and so that definitely sweetened it up, and then it has like that coffee effect to it. So it has the look of coffee, it has the taste of coffee, but it's caffeine free. I've never tried decaf coffee, and so I guess this would probably be equivalent to a decaf coffee. I wouldn't know. I've never tried a decaf coffee. If I'm gonna do coffee, need all the caffeine I can get. So I've never had a decaf, but I would assume this is probably what it tastes like because it has the look, the taste, everything of a coffee. And then I add my vanilla collagen to it to sweeten it up. And then also I need my collagen as well. It's good for your hair, nails, and skin. And so that's what I'm drinking today. I'm drinking my roasty dandelion root tea with my vanilla collagen. And so the topic we're talking about is exit plan. And a lot of times when we think of exit plan, we think of in the case of an emergency. You have your emergency supplies, or you have the equipment you need in case of a tornado, a hurricane, a fire. Or you think of, if you're in a building, they have that exit plan, which way you need to go to exit out of the building in case something does happen. If the elevators are down and you need to go down the stairs and take this way, we think of an exit plan. We think of, removing ourselves from a building or a home and preparing ourselves for an emergency when we think of an exit plan. My way of thinking of an exit plan, and I'm actually working on this. I'm gathering my thoughts now. I'm creating an exit plan for me to remove myself from corporate into being a full-time entrepreneur. Woo! Yes. Yes, so that is the exit plan that I am working on. I'm working on that, and I'm formulating my thoughts and my ideals so I know what I want that to look like. And so far, my exit plan is going to entail how much I want to generate from my different businesses in order for me to feel comfortable enough to completely exit myself from corporate. And it's also going to include, the days I want to work, the hours I want to work. That's the good thing when you're creating a personal exit plan. You could put how much you want to make on there. If you want to be at X amount in order to feel comfortable enough to leave, even if everybody's exit plan may look different. So your exit plan could be more of you're leaving one particular job, going to another one. You're leaving one career, one field, and you're going to another. So everybody's exit plan can look different. For me, mine is strictly focused on getting myself out of corporate and going straight into being an entrepreneur. So my exit plan, that's all it's centered on. It's centered on this is how much I want to make in order for me to know, okay, now I can get up out of corporate and go to be an entrepreneur. This is how much I want my business to be generating in order for me to feel comfortable doing that. What I want my days and hours to look like. Because, in corporate, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever your hours are. Those are typical hours, in corporate. Even if you're remote. And sometimes those hours can be earlier than that, longer than that, who knows. But one thing I am dedicating to putting on my exit plan is the days and the times I want to work. And that may be Monday through Thursday. That could be from 9 to 2, 9 to 3. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working it out. Because I know there's going to be days I have to work a little bit over, depending on if I have a particular client that I can only see at a certain time, and I know this client is really dedicated and they're really good, I don't mind seeing them at a certain time. So I'm still just trying to figure out what they may look like and what restrictions I may put on that, or what leeway I may put on that. So I'm not necessarily sure about the days and times, but I definitely want to give myself a cutoff. No Saturday, no Sundays. Fridays maybe half a day if I do Fridays at all. That's the beautiful thing about working for yourself. It's not easy. Now, it's definitely not easy. There's a lot of hard work in it, but you can give yourself that time, that schedule that you want, so you can still have a life. You got to have that work-life balance. And I learned that in corporate years ago. When I'm off, I'm off. If the building's not burning down, don't call me. If there's no real emergency, you can call, but you might not get an answer, because I learn how to do a work-life balance. And so even being an entrepreneur, I'm still going to have that work-life balance, and I can make it fit for me. So I'm working on my exit plan, and I'm trying to give myself time because I want to really think it through, get my thoughts together, and fully know this is X amount of money that I want to make. These are the days and hours that I want to make. How much am I generating right now? And in what ways can I even boost that even more? So there are so many different things I just want to put on my exit plan, because I'm excited to do this. And it never occurred to me to do an exit plan to get myself out of corporate into being a full-time entrepreneur. Because I feel it within every fiber in me that time is coming. Because there's so many clues and there's so many things that I'm seeing that I know the time is coming. So now I have to prepare. We have to prepare and, get in preparation to exit, So I'm preparing myself to exit and to fully do what I love to do, what my purpose, what I'm called to do, which is to be an entrepreneur. And it's going to look, different, because me being an entrepreneur is me doing the podcast, me, still doing consulting and amongst other things. So, I'm going to be one of those entrepreneurs that I'm just going to dibble and dabble in everything. But I even want to make sure I put that into my exit plan so it makes sense. Like, for my consultant, and it does amazing. But, maybe I even want to cut back some on that so I can increase my focus on the podcast. Who knows? So I'm just gathering all those ideas because I want to. I'm not even going to say want. I must and I need and I will complete this exit plan, because once that is complete, that for me is final in letting me know that, okay, you're one step closer now. You have created this exit plan. So now you have put this thought into your mind that you're going to be exiting soon from this situation into something else. And a lot of things we exit from, we don't necessarily sit down and think of an exit plan from, about it. When you leave a relationship, you may sit down and, think, okay, financially, if I leave this relationship, okay, I need to put this over here. I need to make sure I budget better. We think about certain things at times. When we leave a job, you're like, okay, if I leave this job, I still need to be making X amount, if not more, or at least the same amount I was making at this particular job. So we think of these things when we exit out of a situation, whether it's a job, relationship, or whatever. But for me, I never just sat down and actually came up with a plan and wrote these things down. These are all things I would think up in my mind, like, okay, if I leave this job, I need to make more or the same amount, And once I was able to find a job that paid more or the same, I was able to exit, from that job. So I always thought of different ways to exit a situation and formulate these ideals and, and act them out. But I never just wrote them on paper, or I never had a full plan of it. So that's how I know this thing is going to be great. It's going to be good, because when I put my thoughts on paper, it's going to look amazing. It's going to be good. So that's what I'm doing. I am working on my exit plan from being in corporate to just a full-time entrepreneur, so I can give all of my focus and all of my energy into just that, because it can be hard when you're giving part of your focus to corporate and part of your focus to being an entrepreneur, and then at times both of them can lack. So I've noticed at times that I'm slacking up on things I'm doing in corporate, then I'm slacking up on things I'm doing as being a business owner. I'm taking all of my energy and my focus into being an entrepreneur and focusing on my business. So that's what I am doing. And this exit plan is the first step into fully integrating and moving over. And once this thing is finished, I'm sharing it, because I'm going to be so excited just to let you all know what's in my exit plan, what it looks like, how long it took, and because it's not going to take forever. Once I actually just sit down and start getting these thoughts together like I want to, it's just going to flow. I know it is. But I'm really excited to share it, because for me, that is a new journey that I'm taking on, and it's a new focus that I'm taking on. Because I know once I do that and it's complete, bam, on to the next thing. And at that moment, because I'm giving myself a date too. So that's one major thing that's going to be on my exit plan as well, is that, okay, by this date, I want to be making X amount of money so I can completely exit myself out of this situation. So that's another thing about an exit plan. I want to give myself a date as well, that I want to fully be out of corporate into just being a full-time business owner, because that is what I am focused, I'm geared toward, and that's what it's going to be for 2023. I absolutely promise you that. And so I just wanted to share that I'm working on my exit plan. And if you have something that you're ready to move on from into something new and fresh, go ahead and get your exit plan going as well. Whether it's, you're trying to leave a relationship, you're trying to leave a job, whatever it is, and you're just trying to start something new and fresh, go ahead and create that exit plan so you will know what it's going to look like. Go ahead and prepare yourself for the next chapter in your life, because that's what I'm doing. And I would just love to hear if you've ever worked on an exit plan, for personal reasons. What does that look like for you? Are you considering doing it now? Because it never dawned on me. It be the simple things sometimes that we don't even think about, because we always think of, ways to exit a situation or a job or whatever it is. But just to sit down and actually calculate how much you want to make and what day you want to do this by, and just to have it all on paper. For me, I've never done it that way, where I just had it on paper. So I'm really just to see all of these years, all the different exit strategies that I've had and that I've done, just to actually see it on paper now. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to share that with you all. And so, as always, just share your comments and let me know if you're working on an exit plan. If you plan to work on one, what does that look like for you? What's the next chapter in your life? And as always, this is the Black Educated Tea Pot.